if someone died in the local community, you didn't walk out in the field.
No, there's no.
You didn't walk in the field either?
No, not for 3 years. You wouldn't. You wouldn't do anything till the funeral was over.
The funeral was over, sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So if someone died locally, you wouldn't do any work out in the field?
No, none at all. No.
For the 3 days, was it?
Just a mark of respect.
Mark of respect.
And
wasn't there something about shutting the road gate if there was a funeral going by?
oh yeah, well that's meant in a town or anywhere. Shop doors are supposed to
yeah,
close.
they're supposed to
close your doors.
close.
Yeah.
Does that happen lately, I wonder?
It happened in Goria.
Still happens, yes. Some close them still. Even some of the supermarkets do it. Do you know?
Aye, big up.
Yeah.
Probably like a pettals to do it now.
Another thing, and it's not a massive number of years ago where there was an accident down our country and during the harvest time, and wherever the corn was being cut or the combine was working, there was very few combines. There was only an odd one at the time. They stopped in the field where they were.
Oh right, big up, yes.
And they didn't move.
There was a neighbour now.
Neighbour, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And wherever a tractor was, once the news come, she was just stopped there.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
and left there until the funeral was over.
Yes.
I didn't start up again.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that was 3. And that was in the middle of the harvest now, which would be very.
Yeah, every time you'd want to be pressing on, like.
Yeah. You want to be pressing on.
Oh no, that didn't come into it, sir.
No. Everybody stopped.
Yeah.
No one walked.
No.
Remember that, Jimmy? The whole country stopped that time. Yeah.
Just.
And it
Yeah,
stopped for a couple of days.
Stopped for the 3 days from the time the accident happened. The accident happened, whether it happened at 10 o'clock in the morning or
Whatever.
5 o'clock in the evening. Once that news come, everyone just down towards where they were. Yeah, left them there. If you had horses, I suppose you'd have to bring them home with you maybe, but the machinery or that time
Oh, an odd tractor here.
I seen him in the I went with a man asked me that time to go with him after the funeral to sit in the binder. He had another young lad driving the tractor because it was a bad harvest, I think, and the corn were tangled, and he was going along with a pole pushing the corn in off of the divider. He was in the binder, and another man was driving the tractor. Yeah. But he done it the day of when the funeral, when everything was over. He went on to cut his corn then.
The evening, after the funeral.
Yeah.
Were there any? Did you ever see, maybe in Coolgrania or some of the villages, where they put the shutter a certain way on the window so you'd know going by that there was someone dead in the village? To be a sign. Not only now you'd have a little black
ribbon on the
black
door.
ribbon,
Black ribbon on the door.
Yeah. Was there any other ways that you'd let people know there was a funeral before there were telephones or?
No, not that. The only thing I remember about anybody dying, you got. Do you remember the letter or telegram with the black rim all around the envelope? Do you ever get them?
Can't remember now, mate.
Yeah. If there was somebody, see that time there was no. We said there was no phones. There was the telegram boy had come.
Yeah.
If a telegram boy come, it wasn't very likely. It wasn't good news.
Oh yes, that's right. It wouldn't.
But if somebody was writing to you, or even if you were being sent posted a mass gathering, the outside of the envelope, there was a black rim all around, and I think there could have been a little cross on the top of the envelope.
Top of the envelope.
It was envelope,
That's before if there was a
especially
death,
for that. If there
in
was
the
a death.
relations or
That's
something.
right. If you were sending word about some of your family members having died or whatever. Yeah.
I want to stick on that fire there.
We have some here in the.
Oh, we're well talked out again.
Here.
We have to keep the
Keep her lit.
keep our lit. Because this lady
I know she's fairly hot. I don't know about you down there, maybe. Are you warm?
I'm grand, yeah.
because
Yeah, I'm grand.
we'll chance that there for a few minutes.
Oh yeah, she'll lie up again. And another thing, I don't know how we said it before here the last time, when somebody, a family member had died, remember women wore black for a year,
Yeah.
and the men wore a black diamond.
That's right on their sleeve of their coat or whatever.
And that was done for a year.
The whole year.
Yeah.
To be no going out to dances or anything.
Oh no, you didn't
For
go
a
to a
whole
dance
year.
for a whole year, no.
Whole year, yeah.
Go dance for the year. Women wore black for the year, and a man wore the black
Thing
diamond
on his,
on his shoulder. Yeah,
on the sleeve of the coat.
yeah. You'd see him in mass or wherever he'd be out sometimes in the black diamond on the coat.
Yeah.
Seen women go up to chapel in with black clothes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there was always somebody to lay out the person that died. You didn't go for an undertaker.
Oh yeah, there was always.
There were certain people in the around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
were,
yeah,
yeah.
So there was one here across the road, sure. Tom Miles' father.
Hi,
Tom
Nelly.
Carroll.
Oh, Tommy Carroll.
Tom.
Aye.
He done that job.
Did he, Tommy? I
Tommy.
never knew that. No.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Miles has some story there. What's this stuff on his forget there now?
Yeah.
About where he was.
You remember the one week about Julie Hartley?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What was that? Eh?
This old woman. She died, and she was. There was only her and the nevy, I think, living in there. They were the last of the family that was left in this little farm place, and she died, and then these women, the neighbours, came in to lay her out, and they had to wash her because she was just sitting up. The bed was beside the fire. They had to wash her. She was. But anyway, now they wanted to get a cup of tea later on. Now they had washed her and they'd done a great job as covering her. Now the cloth then, or the towel or whatever they washed her with, the cloth hung out on the line to dry.
Oh yeah.
And now later on, then they were getting the tea, and now there was no milk, and because I asked the nephew, yeah, he says, I have. He said, I milked the cow or the 2 cows, he says, and there's milk there, he says, and said to him, did you strain the milk? Oh, I did, he says, I got a grand clean cloth out on the line there.
Oh, the line.
He could strain the milk through the cloth that they had washed her with.
I
I handed the tea then, I think they threw up whatever they had down, and it was
And all the wakes were at home, sure.
all the way to her home, yeah.
Yeah.
They were.
Was that the same with the Church of Ireland, Tom?
Oh yeah.
Same again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah yeah.
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 And
I don't think there was any difference there, Mick, was
no, but they stayed up all night, like nobody went to, when there was a wake on
there? The house was lit up all night.
all night, and there was people,
And a lot of neighbours stayed there.
they stayed all night, yeah, to
Oh,
get,
yeah,
to let
yeah.
the family get
Yeah.
a night's sleep, you know,
Yeah.
and they stayed up.
This is where there'd be certain ones around the fire, then they'd be telling these stories.
Telling the stories,
And the
yeah.
neighbours
Ghost
made the
stories.
grave.
Huh?
Neighbours made the grave as well.
That's right. Neighbours dug the grave.
And tell me this, do you remember when they were, after lowering the coffin into the ground, you'd cover in the grave there and then, or did you have to wait until the family left?
Oh,
It
we
was covered in there and then.
just covered over, Mick.
No. And in the funerals, the people, all the crowd that was at the funeral, everybody stayed around, and whoever neighbours made the grave, they filled it in while the priest and the family and all that. Well, there mightn't have been a priest. The priest didn't go to the cemetery that time, I think, or did he?
No.
But the whole
They would have went to say prayers though, didn't they?
I can't be sure of that in them time. But the grave would be covered in while nobody would leave.
Oh yeah.
No one would leave until the
Of course,
grave.
this thing now we're just putting boards across
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's only news.
That time,
that's only that. Oh yeah.
that time
there
they'd cover the grave, they'd finish it, and the clay would be mounded up in a bigger mound, and whoever would be covering it had put their shovels, cross their shovels,
on top of the
on
grave.
top of the grave.
Yeah, that's right. I
And,
forgot about that part.
and they'd say a prayer then when they'd be done. They'd all go and say a prayer. But the grave would be finished and covered before,
Before the funeral,
need
people
people
that
go
leave
away,
the graveyard.
and it'd be done.
The near
Yeah.
relatives and all.
Oh, no, anybody that wanted it, I remember him stay around the crowd, stay around until
Yeah,
they be
but
covered.
it was hard to cover the crowd around you.
Yeah, but they did call, like, there was that time, there was plenty of help that time, do you know, there could be 3 or 4 or 5 lads at a grave, do you
That's
know.
right.
And they stopped doing it then. When did that stop?
Probably in the early 60s.
Oh God, it would.
Yeah,
60s, I'd say.
I see it did, I can't remember now when
That's
they
right.
started that they put a board over it or whatever. Now they have the mass or the road that just roll over it.
Well, I remember going to a funeral in Dublin. My father here was here as you go in along. What's the name of that near graveyard here?
Or Dean's Grange.
Yeah, Dean's Grange. And first we went up, drove up from here, and we found a place and went all up along, and there was crowd were there and all, and the minute a few prayers were over, there was a little digger, two lads with a digger come down along. That's the way the digger filled her up there.
Yeah.
There was no shoveling, like.
No.
I thought that was a terrible thing that time, like.
Yeah.
That'd be in the 60s, I'm talking about.
Well,
like, you know.
In the town, like,
See a digger, they were using diggers up there that time, like.
but
In the country it was all dug that time with shovels.
well,
Like.
in Gorey, I think there was grave diggers in Gorey, as nearly as long as we remember. But in country graveyards like Kilnearn,
But there was no such thing as a digger coming in there.
Oh no,
No.
But there was always neighbours like that made a grave, like.
Yeah.
Always.
Or where they be paid diggers, of course, to do it, or like.
Well,
Men
no, but in the times I'm talking about,
in a town now.
in the 50s and the 60s and on up, and even up to no, Blend about, like, it's only in the last, what would it be, Jimmy?
25, 30 years long.
Wouldn't even be 30 years, not at all, that the neighbours have made the grave in Kilnearn and Ballyfad maybe.
Yeah.
Cranford is the same now still,
Yeah,
there's.
yeah.
They still do a good bit.
So Kilnearn is the same, isn't it?
Kilnearn, well no, the lads, the Undertaker now brings his,
Oh,
Not
yeah.
as long as we made them in.
oh no, sure man, no, they're still doing it, like, if you have neighbours to do it, like, but it's not,
It's not near as common.
no, because everybody's working now.
Oh,
all their
yeah,
jobs.
there's no time. And
See, that time to be two men working in a farm place, or there could be a whole lot, maybe sons at home, there was plenty of help that time, you know.
lots of help.
But now you see everybody's gone.
They do all in Ballyfad now with the digger.
Yeah.
And do you ever remember any little unusual thing that you'd spot between different villages? Like, for example, down in Dunamore, I was told by the Hamilman, an undertaker, there'd always be a little bag of clay left on top of the coffins in Dunamore, and he never saw it in any other graveyard. Little bag of yellow clay.
Yeah.
Was there anything unusual like that?
No, the only thing we they're doing it now with flowers around here. In the earlier, every family member took a little fistful of clay.
Oh, you bring it home with you?
No, just throw it in on the coffin.
Oh, you'd have the bit with you, like.
No, just take it off of the. What they do now is maybe whoever's covering the grave, take it. In the early days that didn't happen, but now they get the shovel, take up a shovel of clay, and they'd hold the shovel around to, if anybody wanted it. Any family member, take a little fistful of clay
Aye.
and just drop it
Oh,
in
yeah.
the coffin. Yeah. But now what they do is it's a rose, isn't it? Now they do or a flower.
It's a flower.
Yeah, it's handed around.
You weren't supposed to touch an old coffin if you happened on it.
Oh yeah, you won't interfere with coffins.
You were to let it
You went
in.
down and you happened on a coffin.
Oh,
that,
aye.
you stopped there and then. That was it.
Yeah,
you
that's
didn't.
it, yeah.
Did you dig graves, Jimmy? And
I did, yeah.
Nick, yeah.
Oh yeah, God we did. Don't know what happened. Yeah.
My father dug them as well in Ballygarrett.
Yeah.
There was marrow land out there though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough thing.
Coffins that last down there.
Because of the marrow.
Yeah, I never done much. I done a couple.
Yeah.
Remember digging one in Hollyford
Aye.
for Mr. Cecil, Charlie's father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
No,
buried in
no.
Hollyford.
Huh?
He was buried in Hollyford, was he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever,
Charlie is too, so. Yeah. Although he had moved out of mine for years there, but I was, Cecil's in Hollyford.
and is that the Church of Ireland graveyard, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hollyford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you ever told as young lads that a pregnant woman was never to go into a graveyard? Do you ever hear any of that kind of old pishogues?
No, I never heard that.
Never heard of that one, no?
No.
Or do you ever hear of it as well? I've heard in other parts of Wexford. Well, say, make it in Tommy Murphy there, his father died. They said all the Murphys then were supposed to come and leave a little bowl of water, a bit of food at the gate until the next person died.
At the Gatehead Cemetery?
Yes.
No.
Did you ever hear that?
No.
I've come across that down in other parts of the
Yeah.
country. No.
No.
Did you remember when the funerals took place years ago? They'd stop at a certain stretch. Maybe it was it might be the Church of Ireland thing, but they'd stop and they'd say a thing called the De Profundas. They'd stop and say a prayer at a crossroads, and then they'd carry on.
Yeah, well, they still stop at crossroads. Still do that here in Kilnearn now.
Coming up.
Coming up from the chapel, the full crossroads.
Oh, yeah, it's full of
The hearse will stop there, but people just say their own prayer,
Yeah.
and then when the hearse starts off again, you just bless yourself and
Come on over to the
come on
graveyard.
over to the graveyard, yeah. And coming down the town of Gorey, the stops at the courthouse corner
That's right.
on the roundabout. They'll always stop there for a few seconds. Yeah.
It was like
That's right.
Larry Kenny when Sam Slater was getting married. He said, turn him over, he said, put him on his face, he'd go down if he comes back. Instead of coming up. And the crowd listened to him.
But them are things are done, yeah. But
I want to ask you that again, Mick, because that's really interesting. Can you tell me again, so when there's a funeral here in Kylenear,
yeah,
the hearse will stop at the full cross?
at the top, it'll come up the hill from the chapel, it'll turn right when it comes out to the chapel gate. And it'll come up to there's a tree on the cross, the full crossroads is up right at near the cemetery, and the hearse will stop on the crossroads.
That's right.
And they'll wait a few seconds, maybe a minute, maybe it might, about a minute, you mean, that be it?
Not just,
And people bless themselves or say a prayer or say something, whatever they want to do. And, or even if you have your cap on, you take off your cap
yes.
and the funeral goes on. And they'll do a Hingori, Ed and Muffy or Floodram when they're coming down the street.
There's no to stop here to courthouse cross.
Stop at your courthouse.
Cross.
Yeah, or they're turning over for the chapel and they'll stop at that cross. Always do it, don't it, as long as I remember, yeah.
And tell me this, is there a name on that crossroads up here in Kylenear?
Darcy's Crossroads, that's the only thing we know, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or Limerick Cross, Limerick Cross, is it? Limerick?
Would be
Well, I'd be Limerick as well, of course.
Yeah, Limerick Crossroads. That's not Limerick either, it's Limbrick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it?
Limbrick, I think it
Is
is.
that? It's
Yeah.
not Limerick.
Oh no.
No, Limerick. Is
Spells-
that?
spells
I never
different,
heard that
isn't
bit,
it?
Limerick. Did I know
Limerick,
that?
yeah.
And was there anything at that cross? Was there a little cross or a shrub or a tree?
There's a tree growing in the centre of the cross, but that wouldn't, there was always, at the bottom of Esmond Street in Gorey, there was a tree.
Was there a tree?
Oh yeah, where the roundabout is, there was a tree in the centre of that.
cotton tree or something, wasn't it?
No, the cotton tree was in Enniscorthy. Yeah.
I remember the cotton tree. Where was it then in Gorey, Mick?
Well, you had the bridge in front of, when you were looking at the bridge bar going down Esmond Street, it was in the centre of the road there. There was a hullabaloo over him, they shouldn't have took it out, like, because it could still be there. Could still have been there, like, you know.
I
there's
thought
no-
I surely must remember that, but
Yeah,
I
and there was
forget that
always,
fella.
when you come out of Gorey Chapel, where the medical centre is now, the medical centre is
Come on
like
over along here, yeah.
right on the footpath, you know, where you go up Church Street or go back over
Yeah.
for the court. There was a big tree, a big chestnut tree, Jimmy, wasn't there?
Got to forget with a huge tree in there.
On the corner there, was it?
Was
Chapel,
that?
yeah. It was, yeah.
We took it in early in the morning, wasn't it?
But that tree that you're on about, so there's a tree in the middle of the crossroads up here in Kylenear, is that right?
There is, yeah, still there. Grand tree, yeah.
And what is it, a white thorn?
No, I don't know whether he's not
You don't
popular
know what
either.
it is.
I
Popular.
don't know what breed it was.
Yeah. And there's a green, you know, a nice bit of green all around it.
All around the tree there.
Yeah, for years. It's an old tree, like, it's not just there as long as I know.
Just wondered they haven't took it out. But sure they wouldn't be let take it out.
No, not now.
Sure he's not doing any harm there.
Oh no, it's perfect there,
Oh,
sure.
perfect there,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, oh good days.
And do people hang anything on it, or do
To do, but I think that's a kind of, yeah, well no, they can put signs in front of it, but I think they don't want them, you're not supposed to drive a nail or,
Oh God, I'd say no.
No,
Into that tree.
they did long ago I'd say, they
Oh.
did stick,
But down in South Wexford, the old little wooden cross,
yeah.
that would be, to throw them on the ditch going down near the graveyard.
Well, I tell you where there is an example of them now, and I couldn't figure out what it was for a long time going, before you go to Kilmore Village.
Kilmore Village.
Kilmore. I was down there this summer, I've been a few days, well down that way, and
Yeah.
I go up and down to Gilmore, and the first thing I thought was it broken up pallets? Do you know the way you see pallets
Yeah.
when you're up? And the more I looked then, there were crosses, and every time a funeral passed down that way, I think,
Yeah, lived across there.
cross
Throwing on the.
on the ditch. They're there still today if you want to see them.
They're in several places.
Wooden crosses, yeah.
And do you ever, I've seen that in Kilmore, and I've come across it in Cong and Mayo, and I was interested in your story because your story sounds very similar.
Yeah.
But you obviously didn't leave anything there, or you can't remember leaving anything there. Have you ever come across that, stopping and leaving something anywhere else around this part of North Wexford?
No.
No.
During a funeral, like.
Our funeral, or yeah, or I suppose you've probably seen people years ago, the women in particular might have went to the holy wells and tied a rag on the well, or a little holy metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever see them doing that around here?
No, I heard them going to the Holy Wells already.
Yeah.
There's one in Burns there. Just on the right hand side, going down into Ferns, going at this side of Ferns,
St. Moog's.
St.
Oh,
Maud.
that's right, down at
Yeah,
the
there's a lot of people went there for cures.
That's a holy well.
Yeah, and there's one in Ramsford Park down here below us, in the college,
Is there?
a blessed well, yeah. There was a chapel there on a little island in the middle of a lake years ago. But there was a blessed well there, we often went to that. When we were going to school.
Yeah, still there now.
You could, oh, still there.
Still there.
But you see, it's privately owned now, but that time the VEC owned it, wasn't it, Jimmy? I think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, you could go through the woods or go
Yeah.
rambling through it. And the forestry owned a part of it, and the VEC owned
Yeah.
more of it. The remains of the chapel, the little chapel, are still there. You went across to the chapel in a boat. Is that right? And there's a little tunnel under the island, a little.
Yeah. Still here this side of Gordy.
Yeah.
You're,
Where you rode in your boat, and you come up over the little tunnel up into the chapel.
Get the hell of it.
Yeah. No, whether it had to do with, I don't know what like a John Nangle or somebody now would be able to give the full history on
It
that.
might be about now the Gorey is 400 years old next year.
Yeah.
They're doing a book on it.
Aye. But no, we seen that. We rambled and played around there, and we were going to school, coming home
Yeah.
or weekends.
It's
Yeah.
near the road then, like.
Oh, it's not that near the road.
No.
I tell you where.
Ramsford Park.
Yeah, when you go down, you know how Henry Tully lives.
Yeah, well,
Just
yeah.
going from our house before you come to Henry Tully's, there's a laneway or a driveway. There's a gate on the end of it now. You go down that way.
Hey,
And-
turn in opposite Tully's, like.
Yeah, just above Tully's here.
I see, yeah.
And you see, the man who owns it now, like, unless you asked him, he wouldn't let you down. But there was the remains of what we thought was a grotto is there still.
In there in the same place.
Oh, in the same place,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay,
still
yeah.
there standing, yeah. And this I don't know whether we could get across to that island or not. The lake is drained around that church now, Jimmy, isn't it? That's gone.
Is the lake gone then, is it?
The lake is gone, but the ground could be, you know, the way it'd be boggy or you'd be afraid to cross it.
probably.
I must go back now. I want to ask him, man, again
I'd
sometime.
like to say that myself.
Yeah, well, I'd ask him. I was talking to him there. He's no
Used
man
to be
now.
saying to you here, for Ireland's pride and English glory, knocked into the ditch bit of Ramagori.
So, I didn't get that again, Jimmy. What?
For Ireland's pride and England's glory, knocked into the ditch bit of Ramagori.
Knocked into
John
the ditch.
Sweetback had used to raise these trousers around.
All right, yeah.
The old Ram must have knocked someone into the ditch.
All right, yeah.
Oh, Ram was his name there.
This is Ramsford Park, isn't it?
Ramsford, that's where that God's name.
Yeah.
The people in name of Rams lived there, of course.
Was there a name on the holy well or the grotto?
Blessed well, that's all we.
There's some there.
Is there a name on it? There is. Yeah,
But I heard it now, I can't remember it.
yeah. The well was, there was
Built stone around it.
stone up like a beehive, like you know the straw beehives.
Oh,
They
yeah.
come up that way,
Yeah.
and we'll say there was white stones all up along that way there, over another bit white stones. You know, that's the way it was done
A
up.
bit of all that.
Over all white stones.
Two stone pillars under the front of
And
it.
I think there was a cross on the top of it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time you were there, lads?
Oh God, I haven't been there in 30 years. But still, there was no reason why it should be gone. There was no development. There was no.
This man, is he a farmer there, Mick, or no?
No, he's a Wicklow man. He's up in Greystones, and he bought the place off the VEC years ago. And I was talking to him. I was only talking to him here a month ago.
Yeah.
And I just said to him, I just said, well, he wouldn't let you in. I said to him about the house. I said, I'd like to see that because there used to be agricultural classes run in that place during the winter years ago. So I said to him, I haven't seen the house for years. And so I wouldn't mind seeing it again. Well, he says, come before it falls, he said. He's building a small bungalow now, moving out of it.
Aye.
It's too hard to keep the big house.
There used to be Irish courses in every summer.
That's right.
Yeah. That's not where the fire was lately there.
Oh, that's St. Walden's.
Oh, that's at the other side of the road near to Gordy Shop.
Well, this house would be 3 or 4 times the size of that house.
Aye.
Yeah.
Huge house.
Sometime you're talking to him, Mick, will you?
Oh yeah, we'll go down.
Give me a shout.
Oh yeah,
I'll
he
see
wouldn't
you.
mind. He'd bring it down.
Go look at that well now.
He wouldn't like you going in without.
Aye, he will. Should be only manners
fair
stairs to
fair
man
enough.
first.
But he never said. The first time I asked him about I wanted to go in to have a look around, and
You haven't went though, like as
no,
such.
the first time I asked him, he said, "Well, I've never shot anybody else." But the last time he told me he got, he said, "Come before it falls." That's
Was the house? He's not living in the house.
He is living in it still.
Oh, they're
They threw up whatever they had down, and it was